Hey guys, welcome back to my Florida home. If you saw the video like a couple videos ago, I moved to Florida and I showed you the entire house except for my office. I showed you my office, but it wasn't fully set up. So I have to show you the updates because it's so cute. Look at this. This rug, oh, I love this rug. This is my working office and studio. I've got my microphones. I have two microphones because I'm going to start a podcast. I've got my standing desk, which I love to work on, especially when I'm trying to edit and balance fitness. Sometimes it can get complicated. So I've got a little treadmill that I can put under the desk so I can walk while I edit. And my new addition besides the rug is this light setup. It was so dark in here before because there's no ceiling lights. So I got these lights initially for my garage because I thought it would look really cool over my Corvette, my motorcycles, but it's equally as cool in my office. I got some editing gear, my riding jackets. Oh, that one's so cool. Look at that. And that's kind of all I wanted to show you about the office. But enough of the extended tour. Let's sit down and chat for a little bit. Right now, I'm really excited because tomorrow I'm gonna go to Austin, Texas for my very first experience with Moto GP. Going to this event tomorrow just has me totally in my feels. I'm just reflecting on how much has changed, especially this past year, especially since I started focusing my content on motorcycle content. The real OGs of this channel will have seen my roller coaster of content I've done over the past, 7 years on YouTube. But over the past couple years, I've really started to focus on one of my biggest passions, motorcycles. But I realize not everybody on this channel knows all about how I got into it and that side of me. So yesterday I took to Instagram and just put up a little poll for you guys to ask some moto related questions. And today I'm going to answer the questions, some of the questions that were sent in. There were a lot, so we just don't have time to get to everything, but I'll answer the ones that were either most repeated on here or that I get most regularly, I can't talk today, in normal conversations. I'll get to as many as I can. There's some random or interesting ones in here that'll just add a little spice to this video, so you might as well try to hit those too. Let's see. Okay, this one I get all the time. How long have I been riding? Well, I got my motorcycle license in 2019. I got divorced in 2019, and I kind of hit this point in my life where I was like, my life looks nothing like the lives I admire, the lives I want to emulate. I'm going to start doing stuff that I want to do. And I've always admired people who ride motorcycles, especially women on motorcycles. I had nobody in my life to teach me. Nobody in my life rode motorcycles, but I knew that I had this draw to biking. So the week we moved to separate places was the week I began to live for myself. I enrolled myself in a Harley-Davidson motorcycles course. I had just Googled how to learn to ride a motorcycle, and that's the first thing that popped up. And it's such a cool full circle now because as of this month, golly, I'll get into it later because I really haven't really opened up this conversation yet. But as of this month, I am working with Harley-Davidson on some big upcoming things. So I don't mean to leave you guys with a cliffhanger, but I just have to add that in. It's such a cool full circle. What got me into riding? Well, the draw kind of started, I guess, when I would watch Power Rangers with my little brother growing up, and the Power Rangers would ride in on these motorcycles. I just remember thinking that was so cool. And they had a couple girl Power Rangers on the motorcycles. And I think something about that planted the seed in me that I wanted to ride a motorcycle when I got older. I guess that goes straight into our next question. How did you do a HD? How and why? I'm not entirely sure about how this one's typed up. I'm gonna guess that you're asking how did I get to work with Harley-Davidson? How and why? Okay, so two-part question. Well, last year I took my Suzuki GSXR 1000R from Florida to Michigan and back. And I made it a 3-day one-way trip and spent some time in Michigan, 3 days back. And that was a 2,400-mile round trip on my sports bike. And that was really taxing on my body. I now have, you guys saw it, totally different array of helmets. But at the time I had one helmet, it was an LS2, and it was so heavy that my neck just like was killing me by day 2. Shout out to KYT, because I've now got 2 carbon fiber helmets and 6 helmets in all. So what got me into Harley is like after that trip, I thought it was such an epic experience, and I loved getting to go through like these other areas and terrain and seeing new places on 2 wheels. Like there's just something extra magical about getting to explore on a motorcycle. However, I knew that I wanted to get a more comfortable ride to do that again. And if I do it again, when I do it again, I want to do it on a bigger scale. So in January, I posted this video saying that my 2025 goal is to go from coast to coast, and I was going to test rides a couple cruisers before like really taking on this trip. Harley-Davidson actually saw that and reached out, and they said they wanted to help me make this happen. So one thing led to another, and I got to meet up with Harley-Davidson at Daytona Bike Week. And oh my gosh, I didn't expect to like share all this in this video, but I mean, y'all are the first to know. I got to meet with Harley-Davidson at Daytona Bike Week to pick up my brand new 2025 Heritage Softail Classic. I'm so in love with this ride already, guys. I've already put about 1,000 miles on her, but I'm teeing myself up to make like an epic adventure. Like this summer, I'm gonna get lost. I'm gonna get lost on a coast-to-coast trip, and we're gonna have such a good time. You guys just wait. Things are gonna get so cool. Okay, I just like drifted away into daydreaming, but to reel it back in, that's how I started to work with Harley-Davidson. That's how I got the Harley Heritage, and I hope that answers your question that you're trying to ask. This is almost too easy. We just keep transitioning to the next question without even meaning. I was asked if I had any plans of traveling. So the coast-to-coast trip is gonna be, gosh, at minimum a 5-week moto tour. And I'm actually gonna go a lot further than just coast to coast, but I'll let you guys find that out a little bit later. Where else do I plan to travel? Gosh, Ibiza, I'm going to Spain this year, either Tahiti or the Bahamas. I just got back from Puerto Rico. Golly, there's a lot going on. I'm just really happy. I love to travel. It's like what drives me in everything is to feel free. And that's why like motorcycles, boating, traveling, I feel most alive, and I'm really, really excited for this year. Okay, so any word here, I'm gonna tie these 2 questions into one. Any word of advice for people getting into motorcycles? And I also got asked, any tips for a new girl rider? And what do I recommend as a great beginner bike? Well, you know, I'm gonna be honest, compared to like other like moto YouTubers, especially like the guys, like I've not grown up around this. I've not been in the moto world for the longest time. I have a lot to learn compared to people who have been doing this since they were children, or maybe your parents, family, or some influence in your life has been doing this. Like I'm just kind of learning as I go, and that's part of the fun for me. But in my opinion, what I would recommend, again, all that to say, you know, ask around to more experienced riders for sure, but my opinion, I would recommend for someone getting their first bike or getting into riding is to get a smaller, less powerful bike, because like God forbid you whiskey throttle yourself off the bike because it's too powerful for you. So what I did was I had my first bike under 400cc. Like anytime anyone asks me what do I recommend for new riders, a smaller bike, ideally under 400cc. My first bike was the 2016 KTM RC390. I did love that bike, and I ended up turning around and I got another KTM a few years later. At that point, I was sticking to smaller bikes because I was working on boats and yachts, and I was working a lot in the Bahamas or Mediterranean. So I didn't want something like, you know, crazy expensive or crazy fast or valuable when I was leaving the country more than being in the country. But once I got off the boats and decided to have more of a land life in the States, I traded that in for my Suzuki GSX-R 1000R, which we know got stolen 3 months later. And then I got another Gixxer 1000R. My current bike is a 2024 Gixxer 1000R, and I got it last June. And then now the 2025 Harley Heritage Softail. Do I prefer my street bike or the Harley? I can't choose. Sorry, guys. They both fulfill like completely different like voids for me. I feel free on both, right? That's my biggest thing, is I need to feel free. I have this yearning to take adventures and travel and like do moto tours, and that's when I used to do van life. I built out a van. I wanted to travel the country, and that was cut short because my van broke down in Utah. So like to have this cruiser, like my Harley Heritage, just it makes me feel like that's all so accessible to me again, and I'm really excited to take it out for longer trips and like to go across the country and just really get that feeling of like fully being free back. So the Harley I really value for that reason. And the Gixxer, I love my sports bike. I love my sports bike. I love the sports bike community. I love going fast. I love the adrenaline. I really want to have my first track day. I know that I'm kind of like an addicted personality though. Like I know I'm gonna love it and I'm gonna want to go all in. So if I do a track day, I might as well go ahead and get a track full body suit, because I know I'm gonna go like, I know I'm gonna be like hooked on it. I love a rush and I love going fast and I love a challenge. So I've not done a track day, but I'm more than ready to get on out there. And I want to get more training. I want to become a better rider, a bit more skilled rider. This is a topic for like, I guess another video, because it's kind of something I want to really dive into. But I did have my first wreck in Thailand in January. I am fine. I had full gear on, despite what people think, because my like shorts where I'm like not in full gear, which I'm doing better now, especially after the wreck. It kind of like, it woke me up, you know? So I had my first wreck. I did have full gear on. And so thank God my padding and everything really protected me. But it made me realize that there were habits I had formed like early on when I would get advice after I got my motorcycle license. I had a friend kind of give me advice. I now know that that was bad advice, but this was advice that I wired into my riding skill set for the past 6 years. When I wrecked, I actually had a professional racer behind me and he saw how it happened. And, you know, I'm really glad that experience happened, because that really opened up conversations that led to me realizing that I had formed these bad habits that could be really life-threatening down the road. So maybe that sounds so heavy and maybe it's too vague, but I will get into it into like another video. But I am saying all this to express it like I'm not perfect. I have a lot to learn. I know I have a lot to learn, and then I want to do so. Like I want to just be like a sponge and just take in as much information as I can so I can grow as a person and a rider. So yeah, that wasn't the question. Harley versus Suzuki, I can't choose, but that question, you know, you get all the extra details of why I can't choose. My heart is pulled in both ways. Let's see what else. Oh, this is cute. Lauren, can I please have a sticker? Yeah, you can have a sticker. Actually, let me show you. I just got my first bit of merchandise, I guess. I'm not really selling them. I'll happily just hand these out right now. Where's my mic? But when I get my actual website up with my actual, like, I'm in process of developing like hoodies and shirts and some other stuff that I'm really excited about, but that's still in the process. So until then, I worked with this designer. He came up with this cool sticker. It says "Get Lost." I love these. I'm so excited. Oh, the designer did a great job too. Yes, you can have a sticker. And if I see anybody at like gosh, Moto GP, or, you know, I was just at bike week. Like, I love when I get to meet supporters. It means so much to me when people come up and express that they have been watching my videos and enjoy my content, and I always just feel so surprised that anybody would even like know my name. So that's a really cool moment every time it happens. So, oh, actually there was a question about that. Where is it? Is it stressful meeting fans? I don't think of people as like fans, but like supporters, and it's not stressful at all. Like I can't think of one bad interaction where anyone made me feel like stressed or weird. Everything's just been like so sweet and so genuine. Never feel intimidated or standoffish about that. It really just, I mean, it just makes my day. It's like you guys are like why I'm able to keep exploring and keep living this life and create these videos. I love meeting supporters, and I would love to give you a sticker. Gosh, how cool are these? Where's the coolest place I got to ride? Thailand, for sure. I went to, again, Thailand with Thailand Moto Tours back in January, and the roads are just constantly winding. There you have like severe inclines and declines and like hairpin turns up the incline, and it's just a terrain I've never experienced ever, and it was such a dream. And Thailand was the best riding I've ever experienced by far. Okay, and on that note, I need to go pack for Texas. I like to have these little chit chats where you can get to know me a little bit better, and especially like know me as a rider, because I do consider myself to be like more new in this space. So I'm glad we got to do this. Now I need to figure out what I'm gonna pack. All right, I'll catch you guys later. As of tomorrow, we're getting lost in Austin, Texas. If you're into like the real-time BTS vlogging kind of clips, check out my Snapchat. If you want to see just like the main like meat of the trip, check out my Instagram. And if you're not already subscribed, press that subscribe button, because I'd love to see you guys more regularly. All right, catch you guys later.